All right, Brant, Michigan faced their first big test in a young season here with a young freshman quarterback. Saying that the game left a lot to be desired is probably an understatement. It was a very poor performance from Michigan, this coaching staff, and in particular. I want to, before we talk about, you got to move forward, right? We knew this game was going to be tough. It's been circled on the schedule since we knew Michigan would be traveling to Oklahoma. It got even juicier once Michigan got Bryce Underwood, and then Oklahoma gets John Mateer, and the storylines were there. Sharon Moore going back to his alma mater. Bottom line is Michigan came out unprepared and got absolutely dusted and embarrassed on national television. And so we've seen this happen before. I mean, it happened last year against Texas at home in Ann Arbor. I wonder where the patience is at with people right now. Is Sharon Moore will be with the team until I believe it's like this Friday night at like midnight, and then he is not back with them until that following Sunday after they got to travel to Nebraska. And so he's got a lot of planning to do. Biff Poggi is going to be the guy stepping in so Wink and Chip can do their jobs. But no time like the present. Brant, your early thoughts on this Michigan team, what they showed and didn't show against Oklahoma, and your thoughts moving forward.
Look, I think it's easy to say you have a $10 million quarterback, you need to unleash him. I thought that they didn't do Bryce any favors. I'm not talking about unleashing him, having him throw balls deep down the field. I don't think we have the receiver crew for that. What I do want to see is more bootleg, more him on the edge, more him getting out of the pocket and letting Bryce be a little more Bryce Underwoodish. One thing that I thought, Dave, that Oklahoma did well was their defensive line absolutely destroyed our offensive line. So if that is not the strength of your football team, like it has been the identity for the last 4 or 5 years, then you need to switch it up. And you finally have a quarterback that allows you to do that. You just need to take the plunge into the deep end and let him. I'm seriously not talking about just deep bombs all over the place. I'm talking about levels action. I'm talking about the zone reads. I'm talking about letting him keep the ball on some of these zone reads. And I feel like once you start to do that, you'll start to loosen that defense up a little bit. Look, as Michigan fans need to calm down here a little bit. I understand that it looked bad. Dave, there was always a chance. There was about an 80% chance that always looked like that looked. And honestly, we're lucky it didn't look any worse than than an 11-point loss. However, this team's going to grow. They're going to get better. I am worried about who you're going to see on Saturday. I think that you're going to see maybe 5 to 6 starters out. Like I think that you're going to see a lot of new players, a lot of deep roster moves here, Dave. And I think that you could see this thing anywhere from like a 17 to 20-point game.
Michigan's got a lot of issues right now. I'll just start right on the. Well, I listened to, and I'm sure you did too, Brand. I know you listen to Joel Klatt a lot. He said it best, in my opinion, on his podcast after this game when he said Michigan football has an identity crisis right now, and I think he is spot on. Under Jim Harbaugh, they were always going to be, and this was really post-COVID, obviously, when Michigan actually turned the page and started winning for those few years. But the identity became, nope, we tried the speed and space stuff. That didn't work. It was like Harbaugh tried all these things. And it's like, nope, we're going to get back to being tough on both sides of the football in the trenches and just bully people and wear them down. And it worked. And that 2023 team, not only did it have a lot of talent, a lot of experience, but they bullied people. And I know that that's what Sharon Moore wants to do. My question is right now, I don't know if they have the personnel to do that. And you're right, Brant. The injuries are piling up. Not having Marlon Klein was huge.
Or Hogan Hansen.
Or Hogan Hansen, who was out there for a couple of plays, but it was a non-factor. And so you're relying on Zach Marshall out there. Not a good situation. I'm not saying Zach's not going to be good at some point, but he was a total non-factor. And I look at a guy like, and I'm not trying to pile on a guy who's hurt right now, but Gio El-Hadi goes out, gets hurt, captain on the team. He has not been good. Like these first couple of weeks, he's not been good. And Greg Crippen got like pile drived over. He just got pushed over like pancaked. These are the leader. These are the fifth year guys on this team, Brant. The fifth year guys. You you can't do that. And Oklahoma is good in the trenches as well. That's exactly what they want to do. And it wasn't even close. They dominated Michigan. Um, I'm wondering if we're missing Andrew Babalola, maybe a little bit we didn't underscore that enough because this offensive line, and I know that like Blake Frazier has stepped in, he's done a good job. I, I'm not bought in at all here. And to your point, what I would love to see is then let's pivot. Like maybe this is, and look, Brant, we're not there. We're not at practice. We weren't in fall camp. Like maybe you trust this coaching staff and just say, look, it's just got like almost like last year. We gotta get to that point. It may take some time. I really wonder. It's a big question mark for me right now because if it's not there, like if you just simply don't have the personnel, Ty Haywood's not ready. Babalola's not coming back. Who knows with like El Hadi? Like, is he out for just Central? Is he out for Nebraska too? Who are these guys? But
A phobie's
behind you,
bad.
yeah, Afobe's been awful. Jake Guanera, dude, we hear about him all the time. It's
Yeah.
like Brady Norton.
Lawrence
These
Hatar,
guys.
like,
Lawrence Attar from Fresno State. I mean, or not from, or from Ferris State. And I'm like, I really wonder if the personnel is there. And so if it's not there, and this would be a hard for a young head coach like Sharon Moore, and he wants to do smash and maybe it will work this year. I am not saying that you abandon that completely. That's been the identity of this team and this program over the last 5 years. But you may need to look at that guy number 19 that you have behind center and look at the talent that he has, not just his arm talent, his legs as well, because you've got to find something to open up that offense. Michigan cannot run the football right now. I know that these first two games, you're watching Justice Haynes have these explosive plays, and that's all we heard all during camp. We want to be more explosive. We want to be more explosive. That's the word that all these coordinators use, all these head coaches use. They've had the explosive plays, but Brant, when you remove the whatever that was 75 80-yard touchdown that Justice Haynes ran, we're not even averaging 3 yards a carry with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. And again, it comes back to the O-line, but at what point do you pivot and put the defense on their heels a little bit? Because that to me looked like that game plan was let's just try not to lose by too much.
Dave, you just mentioned Justice Haynes, Jordan Marshall. You didn't mention Bryce Underwood because you haven't seen him run. And he's probably just as fast as those two other guys we just mentioned, Dave. Like, I think this has to be a game where we see something from that running game, whether it be the keeper, whatever. Um, and defensively, we need a shutdown game. Like this defense needs a boost. And I will say they kind of got a little bit. They got a little bit screwed in the New Mexico game. A couple of drives lasted longer than they should have. But either way, Dave, the Oklahoma game was a referendum game for them to have a come to Jesus meeting, and it needs to get done. And Dave, 27 points this weekend. I'm rolling with Central here in this game. I would lay the 20. I would take the 27 with Central. I think that this game ends up probably in the same realm as 34-17, 34-14.
I'm with you. I'm going to take Central with those points as well. And look, Pitt covered a 21.5 point spread against Central this past week. I mean, it happened late in the game, but Central is a good football team. Like they are, not just because I went to Central, fire up chips. They're a good football team, and they're going to play tough. They got a first-year head coach there. Again, I'm not picking Michigan to cover anywhere near a 30-point spread until I see the evidence. Not what I believe they could do and should do, but until I see the evidence. So I'm right there with you. And Brant, I'm just going to, my final point here, because this just is driving me nuts. I don't remember exactly when it was in the game. It was in the second half. Michigan is in Oklahoma territory. It is 3rd and 6, and we run the football and get to 4th and 2.
And then we didn't go for it on 4th down.
And then you don't go for it on 4th down. You kick the field goal. That is soft coaching. or it's just unorganized coaching. It's not orchestrated. It's not you're 2 steps behind instead of being 2 steps ahead. Why in the hell are you running it on third and
and then
six
not going for it on fourth. Like,
and then kicking a field goal at fourth and two? It makes no
thank you,
sense.
Dave. That I absolutely I want you to nail that point home, because if you run the ball there, you know you have 2 downs to get it, so you are gambling there anyway. And then you go kick the field goal. You play soft football down in Norman, Oklahoma, and it costs you. And honestly, Dave, this coaching staff already has some things to answer for, and we better see it this weekend.
We absolutely need to see it this weekend. Michigan fans, hop in. The Oklahoma fans, you let us know you're listening to the podcast. Hop in these comments. Let us know what you saw from this game. Michigan fans, moving forward, what are the adjustments that this coaching staff needs to make? What do you want to see them do? Hit that subscribe button here on Garage Takes. Let us know.